Hello CA final students, this is your Mr. GST CA Vishnuvardhan. So in this video we are going to quickly revise place of supply chapter, and we are going to revise section 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of IGST Act 2017 in this video quickly. So let us quickly move into the lecture. Hello students, this is your Mr. GST CA Vishnuvardhan. In this video we are going to see place of supply chapter. Quickly we are going to revise, and place of supply, this is the only chapter where we will be reading IGST sections in your syllabus in your CA intermediate. So section 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12 we are going to see in this particular chapter. Okay, actually place of supply provisions are dealt in 10, 11, 12, 13. For you in syllabus, section 10 and 12 related to place of supply are given. 11 and 13 you will be reading in your CA final. So let us move into the chapter. So before going into this chapter, we should know the basic meanings of export and import of goods and services. If you understand properly, sir, export or import with respect to goods, sir, it is dealt under customs law. Services, exports and imports, they are dealt under GST law. So export and import of goods, if you see, when we can call it as export, when we can call it as import. Sir, export means technically it should be like taking the goods physically to a place outside India, then only we call it as export. And import means obviously bringing the goods into India, just like whatever the customs laws are saying, the same thing we are following here. So that is what the meaning of export and import of goods. Export means taking the goods physically out of India, or imports means bringing the goods into India. So that is what we call as export and import. Okay, so fine. Now what about services? Services, if you see, export and import. Export service definition, if you see, important one, sir, there are 5 conditions here. What are the 5 conditions to call the service, the transaction, as export of service? Number 1, supplier is in India. Number 2, recipient is outside India. Number 3, place of supply should be outside India. Next, the payment, fourth one, is like payment should be received in convertible foreign exchange, and wherever permitted it can be received in Indian rupees also. Fifth one, very important point, supplier and recipient should not be merely establishments of the distinct persons who are located inside India and outside India. For example, Infosys Bengaluru, Infosys New York. Sir, they are belonging to Infosys company only. Infosys branch is there in New York. So whether we can call them as like Infosys Bengaluru and sending something to services, giving some services to Infosys New York, can we say that it is export of service? Absolutely no, absolutely no. So please understand, it should not be a transaction merely between the distinct persons, Suppose, the important thing is, suppose Infosys in New York has been registered separately and has been formed as a separate company as per the laws applicable in US. Then Infosys Bengaluru is providing services to a different person altogether in Infosys New York. They cannot be called as distinct persons. Then it will be called as export. A very important point. Okay. Now coming to the next one, import. Import means what? Obviously supplier is outside India, recipient is located inside India, and place of supply is also falling in India. And here the interesting thing is, supplier and recipient can be distinct persons. Okay, for calling import of service, supplier and recipient can be distinct persons, but for export only, sir, we cannot call it as an export of service if it is transaction happening between merely distinct persons. Okay, so that is the interesting point which we have to know before going into the discussion. So section 7 and 8 are talking about interstate supply and interstate supply. Simple thing, sir, what is interstate supply? Interstate supply means, sir, first of all, for place of supply, 2 things are important. One is location of supplier of service and place of supply. So if these 2, location of supplier of service and place of supply, are falling in 2 different states or 2 different union territories, or 1 different state and 1 different union territory, then we call it as interstate supply. Simple. So when we call it as interstate supply, location of supplier and place of supply are falling in 2 different states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, or 2 different union territories, or 1 different state and 1 different union territory, then we will call it as interstate supply. And imports, sir, of course imports are called as interstate supplies. Other cases, we can call it as interstate supply, where supplier is located in India and place of supply is outside India. That means nothing but exports. Supplies made to or by SEZ unit or developer, this is important one. Remember always, any supply made by an SEZ unit or to an SEZ unit, made by an SEZ developer or to SEZ developer, is interstate supply. That means, sir, even though there are 2 units located in same SEZ next to door, they are making some supplies between them. That is also called as interstate supply. Sir, one unit is in DTA, sir, the other unit is in special, both are in Chennai. Let us assume For example, if there is a company in Tamil Nadu, sir, a company in Tamil Nadu in Chennai outside DTA providing services to another company in Tamil Nadu in Chennai, same city, but which is in SCZ. Sir, then the supply happening between them is interstate supply. Leave about that. What I am trying to tell is, in the same SCZ, there are two different companies located next to next door. One fellow is providing supply to another fellow. Still, we call it as interstate supply. Clear? So, supply made to SCZ unit or developer or made by SCZ unit or developer, we call it as interstate supply. Okay, that is another point. Next, suppose nowhere in the law if you are able to classify it as intrastate supply, then classify it as interstate supply. So, these are what the meanings of interstate supply. In this, the important thing is that supply to SCZ, all that we have seen. Okay, so hope you are clear with section 7, interstate supply. Next, section 8 is all about intrastate supply. What section 8 is talking about? Na intrastate supply. First of all, please understand, you ignore about the page numbers etc here, because concepts whatever common for the inter material will be different, final material will be different. So concepts are common. So I am recording it in a common way. So ignore about the page numbers. Concept and content will be same in your materials. Okay, don't worry. Now, so coming to the point, what is the meaning of intrastate supply? Intrastate supply is nothing but whatever is not interstate supply, that means location of supplier and place of supply is falling in the same state or same union territory, then we call it as intrastate supply. What and all cannot be called as intrastate supply, sir? As I already told you, what and all cannot be called as intrastate supply. Supply is made to SCZ or SCZ units or developers? No. Import of goods? No. And supply of goods made to a foreign tourist referred in section 15. In these cases, please understand, even the location of supplier and place of supply falling in the same state, still we call it as interstate supply. One second. So in these cases, even though these people are located in the same state, the location of supplier and place of supplier falling in the same state, still we call it as interstate supply. Sorry, there was some technical issue. Okay, so hope it is clear. So generally, intrastate supply means location of supplier and place of supply falling in the same state or same union territory. But even though the location of supplier and place of supply is falling in the same state, if it is made to SCZ unit or developer, it is interstate supply. If it is import of goods till they cross the customs frontiers, it is interstate supply. Then supply of goods made to a tourist referred to in section 15, interstate supply. So these cannot be called, it can never be called as interstate supply. Simple. Next, as I told you already, mere establishments of the same person. As I told you in the meaning of export and import, sir, mere establishments of same person, if they are interacting, we cannot call them as export. Okay, so that point we have already discussed. The explanation related to only CA final, so already discussed. Explanation relevant only for CA final. Okay, already discussed. Next, supply in territorial waters. See, first of all, we have understood what is section 7 and 8. Section 7 and 8 is what is intrastate supply, what is interstate supply. So we have understood location of supplier and place of supply falling in the same state or union territory, then we call it as intrastate supply, otherwise we call it as interstate supply. In certain cases, there are specific transactions which we call as interstate supply, that also we have seen. Okay, fine. Now coming to section 9. What section 9 says? Section 9 says simple one, sir. When the location of supplier or place of supply is, suppose if it is falling in territorial waters. For example, you go to Goa to just for this casinos will be there in the ships will be placed in the territorial waters. Location of supplier and place of supply is falling in territorial waters, then which state or union territory we should take? So the state or union territory which is located to the nearest point of that appropriate baseline we will consider. So suppose here the location of supplier is falling or place of supply is falling, so we will take the state or union territory which is closest to this appropriate baselines or closest to point. Okay, so that way section 9, simple one, let us not worry about that. Now let us move on to section 10. Sir, what is section 10? Section 10, see, first of all, we have seen section 7, 8, 9, correct? Section 7, 8, 9 talking about what is interstate supply, all that. Here, to call it as interstate supply or interstate supply, first of all, we should be clear with what is the location of supplier and what is place of supply. Location of supplier, okay sir, fine, I will understand. But what is the meaning of place of supply? Here, please understand, place of supply chapter itself is like, it is a mathematics formula. Already they have derived the formula. You should just remember the formula now. Let us not worry about the derivation. Okay. Now, so in section 10, 11, 12, 13. I repeat, section 10, 11, 12, 13. In section 10, 11, 12, 13, the IGST Act clearly mentioned what is place of supply in different occasions. 10 and 11 talks about goods, 12 and 13 talks about services. Section 10 is purely for goods other than export and imports, 11 and 12 exclusively for imports and exports, 12 services where both supplier and recipient are located in India, and 13 where any one fellow supplier or recipient are located outside India, then 13 is applicable. Section 10, 11, 12, 13, all the 4 sections are there in CA final. So in CA Inter, you have only section 10 and section 12 in the syllabus. 11 and 13 is there in CA final. So I repeat, in CA Inter, there are only 2 sections, section 10 and 12. Section in CA final, all the 4 sections, 10, 11, 12, 13 are there. The place of supply, 4 sections are dealing with this. Section 10, place of supply for goods other than exports and imports, a small section. Section 11 also, place of supply for goods, imports and exports, small section again. 12 and 13 are little bit lengthy sections, that's all. Okay, so section 12 is place of supply for services where both supplier and recipient are located in India. 13 is where recipient or supplier, any one fellow, not both. If both are located outside India, why will we study about them in GST? Let us not worry about them. So section 13 talks about any one person, either the supplier or recipient is located outside India. Okay, so let us move on to section 10 first. So section 10 talks about place of supply with respect to goods. I'll explain this to you in a very simple way. First of all, see, understand. You have the notes properly and examples all that properly. Sir, section 10, if you see, place of supply for goods. Place of supply for goods. The place of supply for goods here, first of all, what it will say now? Sir, there is clause A, clause C, and clause CA. Now, clause A says when you are selling the goods, whether movement in goods involved or not. Yes, sir, involved. If movement is there, then what is the destination of the goods? That will be treated as place of supply. No, sir, movement is not involved. For example, you are going to a mobile showroom and buying the mobile. Is the movement of goods involved? Moving the mobile from one place to another place? No. So then what is the place of supply? Location of goods at the time of delivery. Okay, that will be the place of supply. Movement is involved, I repeat, movement is involved. Then whatever is the destination, that will be the place of supply. Movement is not involved now, where the goods are handed over to the customer, where the goods are located at the time of supply, that will be the place of supply. Okay, so for example, sir, I am selling raw material to you. I am in Tirupati, you are in Chennai. I am sending 10,000 kg raw material to you from Tirupati to Chennai. Movement of goods is involved from Tirupati to Chennai. So what is the place of supply? Chennai will be the place of supply because that is the destination. Or imagine you are going to a mobile showroom buying a mobile, and in that case, whether they are moving mobile from one place to another place, no, movement is not involved. Don't say, sir, they are moving it from the almara or the shelf. No, that is not that way. So movement is not involved. In that case, sir, where these goods are handed over to you, that will be the place of supply. Chennai, you are going to a mobile showroom buying the mobile. Chennai will be the place of supply. Okay, so that is the case. Movement involved, not involved. Now, here the interesting thing is, I'll tell you. Let us see. Clause B is the next one. Clause B is all about build to ship to model. Sir, build to ship to model cases. In build to ship to model cases, what happens is, billing will be done to one person, shipping will be done to another person. Billing will be done to one person, shipping will be done to another person. In such cases, sir, what will be the place of supply? The place of supply is who gave you the direction. For example, sir, Vishnu is in Chennai. Vamsi is in Hyderabad. Vishwanath is in Bengaluru. Okay. Vishnu is making a sale to Vamsi. So I am making bill to Vamsi. Hey, Vamsi, this is the bill like that. What Vamsi is doing? Vamsi is making a sale to Vishwanath. So what Vamsi is asking to me now, Vishnu sir, you made a sale to me, no? Don't do shipping to me. Do shipping to Vishwanath. So what I will do now? billing to Vamsi, shipping to Vishwanath. This is what I will do. Bill to ship to model, bill to ship to model. In such cases, what is the place of supply? See, Vishnu has to determine place of supply now. Okay. So when Vishnu is determining the place of supply, sir, he will see because of whose direction I am moving the goods to Bengaluru, on the directions of Vamsi. Okay, what is the place of business of the person who has given the direction? That will be the place of supply. That means, please understand, in case of bill to ship to model, simple, to whom you are billing, that fellow's place of business will be the place of supply. Simple. Okay, that is what the concept. Now, sir, there is one more new clause they have added, clause CA. In clause CA, what they are saying now, listen carefully, listen carefully. In clause CA, what they are saying now, if the recipient is unregistered, that means the buyer is an unregistered fellow. If the buyer is an unregistered fellow, then in such case, sir, what is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? Whatever the address of the recipient you have recorded in the invoice, recorded in the invoice. But sir, if recipient has not given his address, not given his address, if he has given his address, then that will be the place of supply. If he has not given the address, then location of supplier of that goods itself will be the location of supplier of goods itself will be the place of supply. That means that I am selling something to an unregistered person. So what is the place of supply in that case? I will not check now clause A or clause C, because clause CA has not a non-obstante clause. You need not verify clause A and C, movement is involved or not involved. You should see only, sir, what is the address of that recipient, what is that he is giving, what is that you are recording in the invoice. That address will be the place of supply. Okay, if address is not given, if address is not given, if he is not giving the address, then location of the supplier itself will be the place of supply. And one interesting point here is, sir, when we are asking the address of the recipient, detailed address like his door number, landmark, street name, all these things not required. Just the state name, if he is giving, the recipient is giving, that is also more than sufficient. That you record in the invoice, that is more than sufficient. That will be taken as place of supply. Now, for example, you are going to Goa. You are an unregistered person going to Goa and buying a mobile there. And in the mobile shop, they are asking your address. You are saying, sir, I am from Tamil Nadu. They are recording in the invoice Tamil Nadu. That is more than sufficient. That will be the place of supply. If you say, sir, my address and all I will not give you, you please sell the mobile to me, I will give money and get lost, then in that case, location of supplier, he is in Goa, he will take place of supply as also Goa itself. Am I clear? That is what the concept. And one more interesting clarification here, the new one which has been given is, I am not just going through the material, I am just trying to put it in a simple way. I am presenting it so that you can just have a quick revision. Okay, now ignore my handwriting, please. Sir, there is a new clarification here. New clarification here. What is that clarification now? When unregistered person is buying the goods through e-commerce operator, they are giving billing address separately, shipping address separately. In that case, what is the place of supply? Then they said place of supply will be the shipping address. Am I clear? That will be the shipping address. I repeat, when unregistered person is buying something through e-commerce operator, they'll give billing address separately, shipping address separately. Mostly like during Valentine's week, all that stuff. So you might be buying, so billing address is given yours, shipping address maybe somebody else, you only know. So in that case, what will be the place of supply? Place of supply will be the shipping address. Clear? So that is what the point. So that is the clarification. Now, so I repeat, 10(1) CA, when unregistered person is buying something, register like whatever the address is recorded in the invoice, that will be the place of supply. If the recipient is giving state name, that is also sufficient. If the recipient doesn't give anything, then the supplier location itself will be the place of supply. And if at all unregistered person is buying through e-commerce operator, billing address and shipping address are given separately, then shipping address itself will be taken as place of supply. So this is clause CA. Now finally, clause D and E. D. What is clause D? Sir, I am buying some goods, sir, and those goods needs some installation, sir, some assembly, sir. Then such type of goods if I am buying, what is the place of supply? Place of supply, for example, you are buying an AC. Sir, what is the place of supply? Where the AC is installed. Okay, so place of supply is where the goods are installed or assembled. Okay, that will be the place of supply. Simple provision. Next, the last case in section 10 subsection 1 is clause E. What is this clause E? Suppose you are traveling from Chennai to Bangalore in Vande Bharat train. Somewhere you are purchasing some Haldiram chips or something, moong dal, etc., in the train. Or you are traveling from SpiceJet Airlines from Hyderabad to Delhi. Sir, you are buying something like fried cashews or kajus, whatever it is they are selling, salted or roasted peanuts, all that they are selling. Then in such case, what is the place of supply for that? Sir, when the goods are supplied on board of a conveyance, then what is the place of supply for that? Sir, the place of supply for that is what? The place of supply is where these goods are taken on board, not where you are boarded, where the goods are taken on board. You are traveling from Hyderabad to Delhi, but these goods, whatever you are buying during the flight journey, they are taken on board in Bengaluru. Imagine, then the place of supply will be Bengaluru for all these things. Okay, so that is what section 10 all about. So what is section 10 all about here? Sir, there are 6 cases: clause A, B, C, CA, D and E. Movement involved, movement not involved, sale to unregistered person, bill to ship to model, goods where needs installation and assembly, and finally goods which are supplied on board of a conveyance. Clear? So those are the things. So we have discussed place of supply for all the occasions. For you, the proper notes and the examples for all these things have been given here. You can happily go through this. So just to show all the differences, etc., for quick revision purpose, I have used the flow chart. Okay, section 10 is applicable for supply of all goods other than exports and imports. Hope it is clear. So the next one is section 11. You know, the very easy one. Section 11, import and export of goods. What is the place of supply? So if it is import of goods, the location of the importer will be the place of supply. If it is export of the goods, where the goods are destined to, the destination of the goods will be taken as place of supply. Sir, what if both the location and supplier and recipient both are outside India? See, we have already discussed in schedule 3 about high sea sales or sale of warehouse goods, merchant trading, all that stuff. So technically GST itself will not come into picture. Let us not worry about that. Okay, so section 11 is only when supplier or recipient, anyone, that is export and import of goods. So what is the place of supply? Import, location of importer; export, where the goods are destined to. Okay, so that is what section 11 all about. Now let us move on to section 12. Section 12 is nothing but place of supply for services, where location of supplier and location of recipient both are in India. Okay, section 12. In section 12, if you see, the interesting part is, in section 12 there are 14 subsections, but subsection 1 says go and refer the following subsections to identify place of supply. Subsection 2 says from 3 to 14, if it is not applicable for you, come to me, I will tell you what is your place of supply. That means subsection 2 is general rule. From subsection 3, sir, it is specific rules. So that means, what is the situation, what is the place of supply, what is the situation, what is the place of supply. So you have to remember the situation, and for that situation, what is the place of supply. Here your memory has to be like little bit more careful. Here you are with respect to memorizing the things. There is no other option. So coming to first subsection, section 12 subsection 2. So as I told, it is a general rule. It is applicable when 3 to 14 is not applicable. Okay, subsection 2 says, sir, what is the place of supply? Subsection 2 says place of supply is, if it is a B2B supply, then the location of that recipient where he is registered, that will be the place of supply. If it is a B2C supply, then if the address of the recipient is available, then the address of the recipient. If address of the available is not available, then supplier address. So I repeat, section 12 subsection 2 general rule is all about that if the recipient is registered, his address will be the place of supply where he is registered. If he is unregistered, then if you have his address, then take his address as place of supply. If you don't have his address, then your address will be the place of supply. Clear? I repeat, subsection 2 comes into picture when all other subsections are not applicable. Next, there are examples which you can go through. Now, as I told, subsection 3 to 14, we know this is the scenario, this is the place of supply. So what is the scenario? Sir, subsection 3. Subsection 3 deals with anything you do, anything which is directly related to immovable property. Anything which is related to immovable property. So, sir, services relating to immovable property, lodging, accommodation in a hotel or a boat or a vessel, or accommodation in any immovable property for social, business or religious or cultural functions, and any incidental or auxiliary things related to above. So first of all, sir, anything which is related to immovable property, lodging and boarding. Here one interesting thing is lodging and boarding not only in the hotels, guest house, etc., but also houseboat and vessel. Even though it is movable, it is covered here. Next, For conducting the functions, we are renting out the property. Okay. And finally, anything incidental for all these above activities. For these cases, the place of supply will be the location of immobile property. The location of immobile property. For example, you are an architect. You are designing the hotel plan. Then the place of supply will be where the hotel is going to be constructed. So let us assume you are a real estate agent giving advisory services for selling or buying the land. So what is the place of supply where the immobile property is located? Or you are going to a hotel booking the accommodation. What is the place of supply where the hotel is located? So like this, with respect to these things, the location of the immobile property itself will be the place of supply. And if that immobile property is located outside India, if the immobile property is located outside India, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. The location of the recipient. Hope it is clear for you. I repeat, section 12 subsection 3 comes into picture with respect to immobile properties, all that stuff. But in such cases where the immobile property is located or intended to be located will be the place of supply. And if the immobile property is located outside India, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Okay. Now the interesting part is, as I told you, the examples can be the architects, interior decorators, surveyors, engineers, or other related experts like real estate agents, etc., etc. So for these things, sir, place of supply will be the location of immobile property. Now the interesting thing is, sir, what if this immobile property is going to be located in more than one state? That means, for example, I'm an architect. Taj hotels are coming and asking and entering into a contract with me. Vishnu sir, will pay you 10 crores. You design a hotel plan for us. For the hotel we want to construct in Lakshadweep also, the hotel we want to construct in Delhi also. In the single contract, I am going to provide service with respect to two immobile properties which are going to be located in two different states. Then place of supply will be that if the immobile property is located in more than one state, each state will be treated as place of supply. Each state will be treated as place of supply. So for me, Lakshadweep is also place of supply, Delhi is also place of supply in the example I gave. Sir, how do you proportionately allocate the amount here? See, that is there in the contract. For Lakshadweep property, I'll give you 3 crores. For Delhi property, I'll give you 7 crores. Like that, it is given in the contract. Then you allocate the funds in the same way. 3 crores place of supply will be Lakshadweep, and for 7 crores place of supply will be Delhi. But sir, if there is nothing mentioned in the agreement like that, then what should I do? For unprofessional people like you only, I made the rules. That means the law says if the agreement is there, based on agreement you do the allocation. But if the agreement is not there, please proceed as per the rules. Please proceed as per the rules. Rule 4 says, if it is, that means immobile property located in more than one state. Please understand, immobile property located in more than one state, each state will become place of supply. The only problem here is how do you allocate the fund, and for how much value place of supply will be Tamil Nadu, for how much value place of supply will be Karnataka, for how much value place of supply will be Andhra Pradesh. Like that, on how much value place of supply should be applied. Because on that value, if you identify this is place of supply Tamil Nadu, place of supply Karnataka, place of supply Delhi, like that, you will understand whether it is intrastate supply or interstate supply. Then you will charge CGST, SGST or IGST. Okay, yes, coming back to the point. So nature of service, sir, if that service is provided with respect to accommodation in more than one states. For example, I am going to Delhi and also Agra, staying in hotels in Delhi and Agra belonging to same company. Then what is the place of supply? Delhi is also place of supply. For Agra, Uttar Pradesh is also place of supply. How do I apportion that? Based on agreements. Sir, agreement is not there based upon the number of nights you are staying in that property. Sir, if it is related to accommodation in houseboat or a vessel, in such cases, what is the time spent? What is the time spent in each state by that houseboat or vessel based on that ratio? Sir, any other cases? For example, I am a contractor. Government has given me to construct a highway crossing Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh border, 100 kilometers. Road, constructing the road is related to immobile property. So immobile property is a road which is located in Tamil Nadu also, Andhra also. So in such case, what is the place of supply? Tamil Nadu is also place of supply, Andhra is also place of supply. How do you apportion that? Is it each state is a place of supply, but how do you apportion that? Sir, if it is related to accommodation, number of nights. If it is related to houseboat, time spent in the day. This is any other case. How do I do this? You have to, based on the area of the immobile property. So let us assume 100 kilometers the highway is. 75 kilometers in Tamil Nadu and 25 kilometers in Andhra Pradesh. So based on that proportion, you just allocate that. So the examples also properly given. I repeat, if it is place of supply related to immobile property, location of immobile property will be treated as place of supply. If the immobile property is located in more than one state, each state will be taken as place of supply. Okay, and how do you apportion the value? Sir, based on the agreement, sir. Agreement is not there na. Rule 4 says if it is accommodation, number of nights. If it is houseboat, time spent in the day based on the hours. And if it is any other case, area of the immovable property in each state. Based on that, you have to ascertain the place of supply. Okay, apportion the place of supply. That is 12 subsection 3 for you. So 12 subsection 4 is all about, some performance based services. Please understand 12 subsection 4, they have specifically mentioned certain services here. Restaurant services, catering services, beauty treatment services, personal grooming services, fitness services, and cosmetic and plastic surgery services. These services, if are performed, then the place of supply will be where they are actually performed. So to remember these services, actually see, only these services are covered. It is not something general, it is specific. So to remember these services, I'll give you a code here. Remember that RCB girlfriend needs plastic and cosmetic surgery. RCB girlfriend needs cosmetic and plastic surgery. R means restaurant service, C means catering service, B means beauty treatment, G for personal grooming, F for fitness services, cosmetic and plastic surgery. If you feel it cringe, no problem. If you can remember, otherwise leave it. Okay, so 12 subsection 4, sir, where the services are actually performed, that will be the place of supply. Okay, next 12 subsection 5. 12 subsection is based on a training and performance appraisal services. Sir, training and performance appraisal services, if at all provided. For example, sir, in your auditor office, sir, which is registered under GST, they asked me to come and give training to the staff with respect to the GST audit or GSTR 9C, etc., etc., anything. I'm coming and providing my services of training you or appraising your performance, all that. In such cases, if the recipient is B2B, then the location of such registered person. If the recipient is B2C, then where the services are actually performed. Hope it is clear for you. Right? So examples are given, you can go through. Next, 12 subsection 6. 12 subsection 6 and 7, if you see the difference, 12 subsection 6 is entry to an event. That means the ticket, whatever you buy, any event, it can be sporting event, musical event, or any drama, etc., etc. The ticket, whatever you purchase. So admission to an event. Sir, what is the place of supply? Where the event is actually held. But subsection 7 is all about organizing such event. For organizing the event, if I am taking consideration. Now, sir, subsection 7 I have given in a flowchart here. If you see, subsection 7, sir, what is the place of supply for organizing the event? Here the interesting point what we have to see is whether the event is organized in one state or it is being happening in more than one state. Sir, if it is happening in one state, if the recipient is registered, that is B2B case, the place of supply will be location of the recipient where he got registered, no matter whether the event is happening inside India or outside India. Very important thing. So I repeat, if the recipient is registered, I am the event organizer providing services for conducting some event for your company, all that stuff. Then if you are registered, sir, B2B transaction, then that will be, sir, where the event where the recipient is registered, that will be the place of supply. Even though event is held inside India or outside India, it does not matter. But if the recipient is unregistered, then please understand the place of supply will be where the event is actually held. If the event is held outside India, then the location of recipient will be taken as place of supply. So that is very important here. So please be careful. There might be chances like you are doing mistake. Or if it is like happening, the event is happening in more than one state, sir. If the event is happening in more than one state, sir, if the event is happening in more than one state, if the recipient is registered, same story again, where the location of recipient, that will be the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered, sir, each state will be what? Treated as one place of supply. How do you apportion the value? You know the same story based upon the agreement. Sir, we are unprofessional fellows, we did not make any agreement. Then the law says follow rule 5. What rule 5 says? Rule 5 says follow gap. That means generally accepted accounting principles. You do somehow or the other. Please make sure you are following some gap. Okay, so that is what the point. So I will summarize again. 12 subsection 7. So this is regarding place of supply for organizing the event. If the event is organized in only one state, if the recipient is registered, then location of such recipient will be the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered, then the location of event held. If the location is happening outside India, if the recipient is unregistered, in such cases, sir, location of recipient itself will be taken as place of supply. But if the event organizing is happening, for the event to be happened like in more than one states, each like if the recipient is registered, then again same story, location of recipient. If the recipient is unregistered, then each state where the event is being happening, that will be taken as place of supply, and we will apportion the value as per the agreement. If the agreement is not there, then we will apportion it as per the rule 5. Rule 5 says do whatever you want but follow gap. Okay, so that is what 12 subsection 7. Coming to 12 subsection 8. 12 subsection is 8 place of supply for transportation of goods including through mail and courier. Okay, so in that case, if the recipient is registered where the location of the recipient is there, that will be the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered where the goods are handed over for transportation, that will be taken as place of supply. In this case, when the recipient is unregistered, no matter whether the goods are transported within India or outside India, the place of supply will be the location where the goods are handed over to the supplier for transportation. So that is what 12 subsection 8. Clear? Now, 12 subsection 9. So, 12 subsection 9 is with respect to transportation of passengers. Transportation of passengers, what is the place of supply? Transportation of passengers, see, understand, if it is just a transportation of passengers, for example, you are buying a ticket, a flight ticket you are booking, your recipient registered, then the place of supply will be where you are registered, that will be the place of supply. If you are unregistered, where is the embarking point in that journey? Okay, so for example, you are an unregistered person from Chennai traveling from Delhi to Mumbai. Sir, what is the place of supply? Delhi will be the place of supply because your embarking point is Delhi. So the point is, sir, recipient is registered now. Where he is registered, that will be the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered, then the place of supply will be where the embarking point, that will be the place of supply. Hope it is clear. Next, sir, this is not transportation of passengers straight away, sir. It is regarding issue of the right to passage, where we'll be giving some passes or coupons kind of thing where you can redeem them or use them to travel, sir. And in that cases where the boarding point is not known, in that case, if the boarding point is not known, the law says follow section 12 subsection 2. So what 12 subsection 2 says, if the recipient is registered, where he is registered, that will be the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered, look, recipient address, if you have his address in your books, if you don't have your recipient address in books, then supplier address, simple. So in case of issue of right to passages, all that the passes etc where the boarding point is not known, I repeat, we should follow section 12 subsection 2, where the recipient is registered, where he is registered, that will be the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered, then address of the recipient, if you have the address, if you don't have the address of the recipient, then your address, that is the supplier address, will be taken as place of supply. That is 12 subsection 9. Now coming to the next one, 12 subsection 10. If you see 12 subsection 10, sir, if you are going through 12 subsection 10, it says what about the services provided in board of a conveyance, board a conveyance. Suppose you are entering into an aircraft and you are taking a movie on rent. Okay, so they are providing the services on board a conveyance, just like we have seen goods supplied on board a conveyance. Now we are seeing services supplied on board a conveyance. Same logic, their goods are like where it has loaded into the conveyance, now here, or taken on to board. Okay, here the same way, the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance will be the place of supply. Any service provided on board a conveyance, I repeat, the place of supply will be the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance, not your journey. Where your journey is starting, that is not relevant. See, now for example, you are traveling from Delhi to Chennai via Hyderabad. Sorry, the flight is being operated from Delhi to Chennai via Hyderabad. You are boarding in Hyderabad and you are taking some music on demand, or you are taking a movie on demand, taking some services in the aircraft. Further, place of supply will be Delhi, not Hyderabad. That means where you are boarding, that is irrelevant. What is the first scheduled point of departure of that particular conveyance? That will be the place of supply. So that is 12 subsection 10. Okay. Now moving on to 12 subsection 11. So telecom services. If you see telecom services, here we are talking about this fixed lines or antennas, postpaid, prepaid, internet bills, telephone bills, all that stuff. Here if you see, sir, if it is involving fixed lines, if it is involving fixed lines, please understand, if it is involving fixed lines, then where that fixed lines or equipments are installed, that will be the place of supply. Okay, no sir, it is related to postpaid mobile or internet services. In such cases, what is the place of supply? Sir, if it is a postpaid thing, you know the billing address of the recipient, that will be the place of supply. No sir, it is a prepaid mobile internet DTH services. Then in such case, we will see, are you selling this through some selling agents or distributors, etc.? Yes sir, then place of supply will be the address of such a selling agent or distributor. No sir, I am selling it to directly final subscriber, sir. Then sir, where that payment is received, that will be the place of supply. Okay. Or sir, I am making the sale through any electronic mode or any other cases also. If the recipient address is available in the records, that will be the place of supply. Otherwise, the supplier address will be taken. Okay. So location of recipient in the records of supplier, that will be taken. Otherwise, otherwise if it is not available, location of the supplier. Okay, so simple sir, through electronic mode or any other payments if you are taking. Sir, in such case, if the address of the recipient is available, then location of the recipient. If the address of the recipient is not available, then location of the supplier will be taken as place of supply. Simple. So I repeat, 12 subsection 11. Sir, telecom services, all that stuff through fixed lines, location where it is installed. Postpaid connections, the billing address. Prepaid connections, if it is through the selling agent or distributor, then the address of the selling agent or distributor. Or if it is directly to final subscriber, sir, where the payment is actually received, that place will be the place of supply. Sir, through electronic mode or any other cases, if you have the address of the recipient, take it as place of supply. If you don't have the address of the recipient, your address, that is supplier address, will be taken as place of supply. That is what 12 subsection 11. Next, I have given the examples also below. You can just go through. Please understand, this is quickly to revise the concept for you. Only when you read some questions, examples, all that on your own, then you will be able to remember them for a longer period. This is purely a revision video. Please remember that. Sir, now if these telecom services are provided in more than one state, where they are installing this leased circuits in more than one state, each state will be like place of supply, where there is a point installed in each state. There will be some starting point, ending point, or some intermediary point from which they will be extracting the benefits of this leased circuit. So in such case, wherever the state there is like starting point, ending point, and intermediate points, all those points you count are based on how many points are located in each state. In that proportion you distribute. Every state is a place of supply for sure. How do you apportion that value? As per the agreement, sir. Agreement is not there, then you go with rule 6. What rule 6 is? See how many points are located in each state, and in those proportion, in that proportion or in that ratio, please split the amount and calculate place of supply. Each state will fall as place of supply. Next, 12 subsection 12. What 12 subsection 12 says? 12 subsection 12 says, sir, for banking or financial services including stockbroking, in such cases, what is the place of supply? Please understand, the interesting part here is, if the recipient address is available, okay, then that recipient address will be taken. If the recipient address is not available, then the supplier address will be taken. Simple. I repeat, for financial services, banking services, including stockbroking, address of the recipient is available, take that as place of supply. Address of the recipient not available, supplier address only will be taken as place of supply. Okay. Next, 12 subsection 13, insurance services. Subsection 12 and 13, please be careful, not same. That is banking, this is insurance, purely insurance. In case of insurance service, see, banking services, we don't segregate whether the recipient is registered or not. We just see whether we have his address or not. But in subsection 13, we will see whether he is registered or not. If he is registered, recipient is registered, then location of such registered person. No, sir, he is unregistered, then location of the recipient, whatever is available in the records. If the address is not available in the records, without the address being available in the records, how will you give insurance? So that will be available. So nothing to worry. That situation will not arise. So I repeat, insurance services, if the recipient is registered, the location of such recipient. If the recipient is not registered, then whatever the address is recorded in the books of the supplier, that is insurance company, that will be the place of supply. Okay. So with this, we are done with 12 subsection 13. And 12 subsection 14. 12 subsection 14 is nothing but advertising services provided to central government, state government, or statutory bodies or local authorities. Mostly they will not ask you, nothing to worry, but just remember, sir, here what is happening is, you go to cinema halls or you see any hoardings, etc., you see everywhere this government advertisements. No, for that, what is the place of supply? That they are doing it in multiple states, so each state is a place of supply. Wherever they are doing, that is a place of supply. Sir, in such case, sir, how do we apportion the value? Apportion the value as per the agreement. But agreement is not there, sir. You know, we are unprofessional fellows. So for that, we have rule 3. Don't worry. Rule 3 says what? Sir, if at all you are advertising through newspapers or publications, you're advertising through newspapers or publications, based upon the amount payable for all the editions in each state. So state wise, for all the editions, how much amount is payable? Based upon the amount payable for all the editions in each state, in that ratio you split. Sir, if it is advertisement through printed material like pamphlets, leaflets, diaries, or calendars, t-shirts, etc., again amount payable for each state in the distribution, in that ratio. Sir, what about advertising in hoardings? You see, like everywhere, central government is advertising their Swachh Bharat mission, hoardings, etc., then how much amount is payable? How much amount is payable for the hoardings in each state, in that ratio? You are advertising on trains. Sorry. You're advertising on trains. Then based upon the length of the railway track in each state, you should apportion the value. Sir, you are advertising on the back of utility bills, some electricity bills, etc., etc. Then number of consumers in each state with respect to that utility bills. Sir, you are advertising on railway tickets, number of railway stations in the state. Okay, you're advertising in radio stations, amount payable to such radio stations in each state, for how much radio stations, how much you will pay. In that ratio, you should split. Sir, you are advertising in televisions, internet or SMS. Now, if it is television, go through viewership. If it is internet, through internet subscribers. If it is SMS, telecom subscribers. In that proportion, how many of them are there in that particular state? Sir, in that ratio, you should apportion them. Here, one interesting thing for all these three things, the common point is, sir, understand, if you are going through TV viewership, sir, TV viewership is published by Bark. Internet, try internet subscribers. SMS, telecom subscribers, try again. Sir, how they will do this? Now, see, all the three cases, the information is published on weekly basis. On weekly basis, you are calculating place of supply for any particular transaction falling in this particular period. You should see preceding quarter. For example, something is happening in Jan to March. Sir, between Jan to March, some transaction has happened. You are calculating place of supply for that, and you should see preceding quarter, that is October to December. In December last quarter, whatever the information has been published, that you should take and you should use. Okay, I repeat, viewership data published by Bark in the preceding quarter last week, in that ratio for all the states. For example, I'm advertising in Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala. So in those cases, for a particular news channel, for these 5 states, in that news channel, in the preceding quarter last week, what is the viewership for all these 5 states? In that ratio, you will apportion that. Now see, for example, sir, in internet, let me take internet subscribers. Who will publish? Try will publish. Try is saying in Tamil Nadu 1 lakh, Karnataka 1,50,000, Telangana, Andhra put together. Sometimes 2 or more states they will publish a single figure. They will not give separate figure. For Telangana, Andhra, let us assume they have given same number 3 lakhs. Kerala 50,000. This is the figure. Okay, the internet subscribers. Now what we should do, sir? First of all, where the numbers are published together, first we should split them. So we should split them in what ratio? Sir, we should split them in the ratio of the population. Just for our calculation to be easy, I am splitting them in the ratio of 2:1, assuming the population is that way. Okay, so state wise you segregate them. So 120 lakhs we are spending in the internet to advertise in all these 5 states. So for this 120 lakhs, 5 states will be place of supply. 5 states will be place of supply. Sir, this 5 states, how do I apportion? Apportion that based on the internet subscribers in the state. So internet subscribers data, how I will get? You will get it from Troy. Which week data I should take? Preceding quarter last week data you should take. So preceding quarter last week data we have taken for all the 5 states. But Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, they give consolidated figure. So what we will do first, Telangana and Andhra, we will split them based on what ratio? Population ratio. Based on what ratio? Population ratio. And then we will proceed. So here, for our calculation to be more easy, I have just taken the round figures, all that. So I have taken them. So now we will calculate the ratio like this. So 1 lakh in Tamil Nadu, the internet subscribers, 1,50,000 in Karnataka, 2 lakh in Telangana, 1 lakh in AP, and 50,000 in Kerala. So we will get the ratio 1:1.5:2:1:0.5. In this ratio, we will split this 120 lakhs, and for 20 lakhs, place of supply will be Tamil Nadu, 30 lakhs place of supply will be Karnataka, 40 lakhs Telangana, 20 lakhs AP, and 10 lakhs Kerala. For those amounts, the place of supply will be those states. That is how you do even for telecom subscribers or even TV viewership. Only difference is that TV viewership is published by Bark, Broadcast Audience Research Council. Internet subscribers published by Troy. Telecom subscribers published by Troy. Publishing authority is different. Remaining everything, the procedure, everything is same to same, nothing to worry. Okay, so highly very less chances of being tested in your exam, nothing to worry. Okay, so that is what with respect to 12 subsection 14 also. So with this we are done with section 12. So coming to the next section, section number 13. So where we know that place of supply for services where either supplier or the recipient is located outside India. In such cases, what is the place of supply? Just like in 12 subsection 2, 13 subsection 2 also we are having a general rule. So 13 subsection 2 says the place of supply will be, the general rule is nothing but, sir, if you have the recipient address location with you, then the place of supply will be the location of recipient. If you don't have that, then the location of the supplier will be the place of supply. So that is 13 subsection 2 simple one. So 13 subsection 2 is applicable only when other subsections are not applicable, as we have discussed 12 subsection 2, same thing, general rule here. Okay, now, so the specified services, the specified cases, very important one, 13 subsection 3. Sir, when 13 subsection 3 is applicable? So 13 subsection 3, if you see, important one, where you are providing services, and these services we can say performance based services also. See, please understand, you are providing services on a goods, and for providing services on such goods, the physical presence of that goods should be there. In such case, what is the place of supply? The place of supply is where nothing but services are actually performed. That will be the place of supply. See, for example, we are importing a machinery. We are importing a machinery from Germany, and for installing that machinery, we need a technical person who is also traveling along with the machinery from Germany. All the way he is coming to India and installing the machinery and leaving. So for the person from Germany to provide services of that installation or something setup of that particular machinery, he needs the physical presence of that good. So now, in such case, he is providing services. The supplier is located outside India, recipient is in India. So this is with respect to goods which are to be made physically available for providing the services. In that case, what is the place of supply? Where the services are actually performed, that will be the place of supply. But here there are exceptions. So what is the exception here now? What is the exception now? Sir, if the goods are brought to India temporarily, that means they are imported to India temporarily for doing some repairs, some treatment or any process, and after that will be exported. See, for example, somebody from abroad sending diamonds to India to cut the diamonds and polish the diamonds in India. So we are getting the diamonds to India, we are importing the diamonds to India for cutting or polishing them, and after that process is over, we are exporting them back. In such cases, what is the place of supply na? In that case, it is not where the services are actually performed. Sir, in that case, the location of the recipient, if it is available with the supplier, or if the location of the recipient is not available, then the location of supplier itself will be the place of supply, just like general rule. Okay, so the concept is what? Sir, when the services are to be performed on the goods which needs the physical presence of the goods, the location where the services are actually performed is the place of supply. But if the goods are imported to India temporarily for carrying out some repairs, treatment or some process, and after the treatment process etc is over, then it will be exported back. In such cases, the place of supply is not where the services are actually performed. So the place of supply is location of the recipient, if we know that. If we don't know the location of the recipient, then location of the supplier will be taken as place of supply. So that is the concept. Okay, so fine. Now, sir, there is one more twist in the tail here. That is, if at all we are providing any service on the goods from a remote location, then the place of supply will be the location of the goods where they are situated at the time of providing this service. See, for example, we are a software company in India. Some mobile manufacturing company in US is asking for us to provide some installing a software. Let us assume there is some software we have designed regarding any women security etc. We have made an in-house software which they are asking to install in their mobiles. So for that purpose, we need not travel all the way to USA, or we need not bring the mobiles to India. Sir, we are operating through remote location and we are installing the software from Bangalore itself, from India itself, in the mobiles situated in USA. So in that case, what is the place of supply? The place of supply is where the goods are situated, that is USA. So I repeat, if any service is provided on the goods through from a remote location, then the place of supply will be where the goods are situated at the time of providing such service. Clear? So that is what the point. Clear? So hope that is clear for you. Now, sir, where services are provided and physical presence of the recipient is required, sir. That means we are not providing service on the goods, now we are providing service on the person, because understand, physical presence of the recipient is required. In such cases, what is the place of supply? Sir, where the services are actually performed. For example, this personal grooming services etc. Sir, you are a hairstylist traveling across and going to Singapore to do a haircut to a client. Sir,
physical presence of the person is required to provide some services. In such cases, what is the place of supply there? The place of supply is where the services are actually performed. That will be the concept here. So we have seen physical presence of the goods is required and its exception, and then we have seen the physical presence of the recipient is required, and the place of supply is where the services are actually performed. Okay, now what if this physical presence of the goods or recipient is required? We told no. In such cases, sir, what if we are providing these services in a place more than one location, including a location in taxable territory? That means you are providing it outside taxable territory also, inside taxable territory also. Okay, that you are providing this in more than one location, and let us assume you are a hairstylist or a makeup artist. Some Hollywood actor needs your services. Okay, so you are going abroad and also providing, the movie shooting is happening somewhere in Hollywood, all this stuff, you are providing the services, and some part of the shooting is also happening in India, and you are providing your services in India also. In such cases, sir, what is the place of supply? The place of supply will be location of taxable territory. In such cases, place of supply will be location of taxable territory. Clear? So that is what the point. Here another interesting part is, sir, if this is happening in more than one state or union territory, if this is happening in more than one state or union territory, in such case, as we have seen so many cases in section 12, sir, place of supply will be each state will be taken as place of supply. And you know, sir, when each state is taken as place of supply, how do you apportion the value? Sir, we apportion the value based upon the agreement. Sir, what if agreement is not there? In the absence of agreement, sir, there is rule 7. What rule 7 is saying? What rule 7 is saying now? Rule 7 is saying, sir, apportion the value if it is on the same goods you are providing the services, on the same goods you are providing the services, equally divide them, equally dividing the value of service with respect to such all the states. Suppose if 1 lakh is the value you are providing in two states, divide that half of 50-50 ratio, but this is on same goods if you are working on. No sir, it is on different goods. If it is on different goods, then consider the ratio of invoice value of such goods with respect to each state. So based on value of invoice, in that ratio you split the value. No sir, this is supplied to individuals, then follow gap. Okay, I repeat, sir, if at all you are providing services where physical presence of goods or physical presence of recipient is required, in that case, if you are providing it outside taxable territory and also inside taxable territory, place of supply will be inside taxable territory. But inside taxable territory, sir, if you are providing it in more than one state, we have seen the logic, every state will be a place of supply, and you will apportion that based on the agreement. But if agreement is not there, here what we are seeing now, sir, we are seeing, are you providing services on the same goods? Now see, for example, a mechanic who is located in USA, a mechanic who is located in USA is providing services of testing a dredging machine, and the testing service on the machine is carried out in Orissa also, Andhra Pradesh also. Then the place of supply is Orissa also, Andhra Pradesh also. Now, please understand, he is providing the testing of the dredging machine in two different locations, but goods is same. Location is different. In Orissa also he is testing, in Andhra Pradesh site also, maybe they are having factories in two locations. In two locations also he is testing, but the same goods. In that case, sir, whatever he is charging will be divided equally. On that, Orissa will be, like, let us assume he is charging 10 lakh rupees. 5 lakh place of supply will be Orissa, for 5 lakh place of supply will be Andhra Pradesh. No sir, see, for example, if it is on different goods, there is a mechanic who is located in USA providing servicing of two cars belonging to Mr. X. Let us assume Mr. Vishnu that way. One car is manufactured by Jaguar located in Delhi and serviced by its Delhi workshop. The other car is manufacturing, like, by, let us assume, Audi, and is located in Gurgaon and is serviced in Gurgaon workshop. The value of service is attributable to what? Both Delhi as well as Haryana respectively. How do you split this? Sir, we will split this based on the ratio of the invoice value of the car, okay, to the total value of the service. So let us assume if they are charging for the service 10 lakh rupees, that 10 lakh rupees, how do we split? We will split that. When I purchased Jaguar and when I purchased, let us assume, Audi, I purchased Jaguar for 1 crore and Audi for 1.5 crores. So now this 10 lakhs we will split in 1:1.5 ratio. Clear? So whatever the value they are charging for the service, that we have to split. In what ratio we will split? We will split in the ratio of the invoice value of the cars. Okay, so that way, and for some portion the place of supply will be Delhi, some portion the place of supply will be Haryana. That is what the concept. Hope it is clear for you. Okay. No, sir, it is supplied to individuals. It is supplied to individuals. As I told to you, sir, there is a makeup artist, sir. He is traveling all across and providing services to an actor. Let us assume for Mr. Allu Arjun, sir, he is providing the services of doing makeup. Sir, some scenes are done in Mumbai. A makeup artist all the way from Hollywood came and providing services. Some scenes are shot in Goa. Some scenes are shot in Andhra Pradesh. All that. So in that case, sir, Mumbai, Goa, Andhra Pradesh, whatever it is, sir, every state is a place of supply. How do you apportion the value? As we have already said, sir, there is no standard formula here they are giving. Follow generally accepted accounting principles and you just sort it out this. So that is what they are trying to tell. Let me just quickly summarize. Sir, 13 subsection 3, what we have understood. Sir, 13 subsection 3, physical presence of goods is needed. Sir, that physical presence of goods is needed now, where the services are actually performed, that will be the place of supply. If the goods are being physically made available by importing them to India, and after doing some repairs or process, etc., we will export them back. Then in such case, sir, place of supply is location of the recipient. If you know that, if you don't know that, location of supplier itself will be the place of supply. Next, if you are providing some services to goods located at a remote location, through remote location, then where the goods are situated at the time of providing that supply, so that will be the place of supply. Next, finally, sir, if the services are provided where physical presence of the recipient is needed, in such case, what is the place of supply? Sir, in such case, the place of supply will be where the services are actually performed, just like again the first point what we have discussed. Now, sir, physical presence of goods, physical presence of recipient, where it is required, and if it is provided in outside taxable territory also, inside taxable territory also, in such cases, what is the place of supply? Taxable territory will be taken as place of supply. No, sir, inside taxable territory itself, we are providing it in more than one state. Each state will be a place of supply, and you will apportion the value as per the agreement. If you don't have the agreement, then you will follow rule 7. What rule 7 says? Rule 7 says, sir, if it is on same goods, divide that equal proportions. Sir, if it is on different goods, based upon the uh, invoice value, yes, based upon the invoice value, that Jaguar car example we have discussed, based on the invoice value of the goods. And if it is to the recipient, then follow generally accepted accounting principles. That is what the concept we have seen, right? So with this, we are done with 13 subsection 3. So next, 13 subsection 4. 13 subsection 4 is ditto same like 12 subsection 3, where place of supply is with respect to immovable property. Here what we are seeing, sir, supplier or recipient, any one fellow is outside India, service is in relation to immovable property. What is the place of supply? Place of supply will be where the immovable property is located or intended to be located. Here the interesting part is, sir, if at all the services are to be provided for immovable property located in more than one location. One is in outside taxable territory, the other is inside taxable territory. So outside taxable territory as well as inside taxable territory. In such case, just like we have seen in the previous subsection, the location of taxable territory will be the place of supply. Okay, sir, if it is located in more than one state and we are providing the service, in such case, every state is a place of supply. And how do you apportion the value? Based on the agreement. If agreement is not there, then follow rule 4. Okay, rule, actually you should follow rule 8. Rule 8 says, rule 4 is mutatis mutandis applicable. That means equally applicable. So nothing but exact 12 subsection 3 provision, nothing to worry. Okay, same story. So that is what 13 subsection 4, place of supply with respect to immovable property. Next, 13 subsection 5. Sir, if you see 13 subsection 5, 13 subsection 5 is with respect to what? Both entry as well as organizing the event. Sir, either admission to or organizing the events, simple, where the event is actually held, that will be the place of supply. I repeat, sir, we are discussing where supplier and recipient, any one of them is located outside India, and if the event is with respect to conducting the event, organizing the event, the service, or we are going for entering into an event. So in such cases, both the cases, what in 12 section 12 we had a separate subsections, subsection 6 and 7 for admission to event and for organizing the event. Here we are having same subsection 13 subsection 5. Okay, and if the services are done at more than one location, including a non-taxable territory, same story, inside taxable territory as well as outside taxable territory. You're asking me to organize your business exhibition both outside India, inside India. So I am an event organizer from abroad, you are from India, sir, we are doing it in both USA also, India also. What is the place of supply? Place of supply will be India. The location will be the taxable territory. Okay, so that is what, sir, if it is happening in more than one state, just like what we have seen, rule 5, we have to follow rule 9, but rule 9 says go with rule 5. Ditto same, guys, nothing to worry, just like what we have seen in section 12. Okay, So that is what the concept. Okay, next 13 subsection 8. So what is 13 subsection 8? So in 13 subsection 8, what we are seeing three things here. Number one, the banking services, financial institution services, or this NBFCs providing to their account holders for their services. What is the place of supply? The location of supplier of services will be the place of supply. Not only that, intermediary services, sir, intermediary services also, like what? The place of supply will be location of the supplier. Here location of supplier is the intermediary, the person who is providing intermediary services, connecting two people who are buying and selling, etc., or arranging the transaction, all that stuff. If you are like selling goods from one person to another person, I am arranging the transaction, I am the intermediary, then my location will be treated as place of supply. Location of supplier here means, sir, with respect to intermediary services, location of the intermediary. Please be careful here. Next, sir, the next another point within 13 subsection 8 is renting of conveyances. We can take renting of conveyances including yachts, but not aircrafts, but not vessels. If you are renting any conveyance, it can be anything. Conveyance means any vehicles, all that stuff. Sir, including yachts but excluding aircraft and vessel, and this is also for a period of less than or equal to 1 month, not exceeding 1 month, up to a period of 1 month. So for that period, if you are renting, then also 13 subsection 8 will come into picture. Location of supplier itself will be the place of supply. Here one interesting point is, sir, I am an intermediary providing services, intermediary services. So here either supplier is providing some goods to another recipient or providing some services to another recipient, and I am connecting both of them, all the stuff. So I am acting as an intermediary, all that. So in such cases, so please understand, here there is one interesting point. There is an exemption with respect to where services are provided by an intermediary when location of both the supplier and recipient of goods, they are dealing with goods, both supplier and recipient of goods is outside the taxable territory, then this intermediary services are exempt under GST. The intermediary services are exempt under GST. Okay, subject to conditions given in the said notifications. Okay, fine. Now, so that is what 13 subsection 8 for you. Hope it is clear. Okay, so there are three things covered here in 13 subsection 8. One is banking services, financial institution services, NBFCs to account holders, then intermediary services, then renting of conveyances including yachts but other than aircraft and vessel. In all these cases, place of supply will be the location of the supplier of service. Next, 13 subsection 9. 13 subsection 9 been actually omitted. Earlier there was a place of supply provision separately for transportation of goods, but later on that has got omitted. Now if it is transportation of goods, you should refer general rule itself. 13 subsection 10, sorry, transportation of passengers, further there is a place of supply. The place of supply will be nothing but where the passenger embarks on his conveyance for a continuous journey, where he embarks on a conveyance for his continuous journey. For this I have a small notes for you here. See, so here now the interesting point is, sir, what do you mean by continuous journey? What do you mean by continuous journey? Continuous journey means, see here the definition says, where the journey which either a single invoice or more than a single invoice or ticket, whatever it is, that means one ticket or more than one tickets issued at the same time, issued at the same time, either by the single supplier or multiple, it doesn't matter. The important thing is which involves no stopover. That means, sir, you are traveling from one place to another place on a same ticket, on different tickets, maybe same supplier or different suppliers, but issued at the same time, and the journey should not have a stopover. Sir, what do you mean by stopover? Stopover means nothing but where the passenger can disembark for transferring to another conveyance or breaks his journey for a certain period in order to resume it at a later point of time. That means in simple terms, this no stopover means you should not disembark from the conveyance. So you are traveling from Chennai to London via Dubai. Chennai to Dubai they gave one ticket, Dubai to London they gave another ticket. But sir, the aircraft is same. You are not at all disembarking from the aircraft. So the aircraft went from Chennai to Dubai. Those who are traveling to Dubai, they got down, and those who are getting in Dubai, getting into the aircraft, you are just sitting in the aircraft. So it was like a halt for half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hours, but you are in the same aircraft. Now you are just, the aircraft is again taking off to London. So that means this is a continuous journey. Clear? So that is what the point. In such cases, sir, what is the place of supply? Where the passenger is embarking onto the conveyance for the continuous journey. So the place of supply will be Chennai in this example. Okay. So here again, sir, a foreign tourist mystery, another example. If you see, sir, a foreign tourist mystery booked the ticket from New Delhi to Sri Lanka flight from an airline registered in New Delhi for a continuous journey without any stopover. Then what is the place of supply? Place of supply will be New Delhi, of course. Okay, so where the passenger is embarking onto the conveyance for his continuous journey. Hope it is clear for you. Okay, so that is what the point. Next, the this is 13 subsection 10. What about the next one, 13 subsection 11? Sir, what is 13 subsection 11? 13 subsection 11 is nothing but, sir, we have seen services supplied on board of a conveyance. The services supplied on board of a conveyance, what is the place of supply? Place of supply will be the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for that journey. Just like we have seen in section 12 also the same concept. Here also the same ditto, same concept. Hope it is clear for you. Okay, that is 13 subsection 11. So the next one is 13 subsection 12 OIDR services. In case of OIDR services, what is the place of supply? The place of supply will be the location of recipient of service. First, before going to the place of supply, sir, what do you mean by OIDR services? Sir, the definition says online information and database access or retrieval services means services whose delivery is mediated through information technology over the internet or any electronic platform, and it becomes impossible to deliver that without information technology. So simple. This mediated through information technology, impossible without information technology. Then this is called OIDR service. Okay. Now we have some examples like advertising, all the stuff in the definition itself. So all this stuff. But here the interesting part is, sir, it is not advertising on the internet, providing cloud services. All that fine. They are OIDR services, e-books, movie, music, providing data through computer network, digital content like Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc., etc. All these things. The interesting part, the important part is, the important part is, and includes online gaming other than online money gaming. Online gaming is also OIDR service, but other than online money gaming. Sir, what do you mean by online money gaming? Online money gaming means online gaming where players will pay or deposit some money or money's worth, including virtual digital assets, maybe cryptocurrency, bitcoins, etc., etc. Simple. You are doing gambling in the games. Okay, let us assume Rummy Circle or Dream 11, etc., etc. Sir, such type of online money gaming is not OIDR service, but online gaming like PUBG, Ludo, all that. That means the interesting thing is, if you are playing PUBG or Ludo, that is OIDR service, supply of service. But if you are going through Dream 11 or Rummy Circle, that is online money gaming, it is not OIDR service, it is specified actionable claims. It will be treated as supply of goods and will be taxed accordingly. Okay, so that is what the concept. Now, yes, sir, we have understood what is OIDR service. In OIDR services, sir, recipient location will be the place of supply. Here, in OIDR services, because this is driven by information technology, it becomes difficult to track the recipient address, recipient location. So what we are saying here now, sir, in the 7 conditions given here below, any 2 conditions if you match, then it will be treated as recipient is located in India. The place of supply will become India. Okay, sir, what are the 7 conditions? 7 conditions are, see, either his address given in the internet should be Indian address, or the credit card, debit card, or any other card which he is using for making payments is an Indian card, or his billing address again is Indian address, or the computer or any other device which he has used should be with Indian IP address, or the recipient, whatever the bank account is using for payment, should be a Indian bank account, or the country code through which he is operating all the stuff, the subscriber identity module code, etc., etc. The country code of the subscriber should be Indian code, or the recipient is receiving the services through Indian fixed landline. Out of these 7 conditions, if any 2 conditions are satisfied, then it will be treated as the recipient is located in India and the place of supply will become India. So that is what 13 subsection 12 with respect to place of supply of OIDR services. So the next one is with respect to section 13 subsection 13, the notified services. Here that there are some research and development services related to pharma industry has been notified here, and for these services like integrated discovery and development and integrated development, or evaluation of the efficacy of new chemical or biological entities in animal bodies or diseases, evaluation of biological activity of novel chemical or biological entities in vitro assays. So like this, drug metabolism, safety assessment or toxicology, stability studies, all these things are related to pharma sector. For these things, what is the place of supply now? Sir, if the Supplier is in taxable territory, recipient is located in non-taxable territory. The place of supply will be taken as location of the recipient himself, provided these services are provided as per the contract between supplier and recipient, and this is satisfying all the other conditions with respect to definition of export of service. Then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. I repeat, section 13 subsection 13, simple notified services related to pharma sector. For these services, the place of supply will be nothing but the location of the recipient itself, provided the supplier is in India and the recipient is in non-taxable territory. Okay, provided they are also satisfying all the conditions with respect to export of services. So with respect to a clarification here regarding advertising sector, where the hoardings are being used for advertisement, please understand, generally the companies wants to advertise their products in the hoardings, etc., etc., they will approach the advertising agencies. So advertising agencies will provide services of advertising to the companies. So there is no doubt with respect to here. So this is advertising service. Place of supply shall be determined as per section 12 subsection 2 only. Now the point is that these advertising agencies will approach the hoarding owners. And now the hoarding owners are providing services to advertising agencies. In such cases, how the place of supply will be determined? See, there can be two possibilities. I am the hoarding owner, your advertising agency coming to me and asking, Vishnu sir, we want this hoarding, we want to advertise various products. I told, you don't touch the hoarding, you tell me what should be advertised, what banner should be changed, all that stuff, I will take care. I will provide you complete service, you pay me 1 lakh. Okay, like that I'm asking. So here hoarding will be completely under my control. You want me to advertise MRF tire, I will advertise MRF tire. You want me to advertise Santur soap, you tell me, I will advertise Santur soap. Like that, I will take care of that. That means the hoarding owner, we are calling as vendor here, that is providing what? Advertising services to advertising agency. So how do you determine place of supply? As per section 12 subsection 2. Okay, general rule. But if I am the hoarding owner, I am telling you, you pay me 1 lakh, you do whatever you want with that hoarding for the entire month. So complete hoarding will be in your control. Complete hoarding will be under the control of advertising agency. So what the vendor, the hoarding owner is doing here, the hoarding owner is renting the hoarding, which is nothing but an immovable property. So the place of supply will be determined as per section 12 subsection 3. So that is what the concept, that is what the clarification here with respect to the place of supply in case of advertising sector. Okay, especially with respect to hoardings. So the next clarification is with respect to the intermediary services. We have seen intermediary services, the place of supply is as per section 13 subsection 8. Here, when this 13 subsection 8 can be invoked actually, please understand, here for intermediary services, definitely there should be 3 parties, where 2 parties are entering into the main supply, one party is acting as an intermediary. So 2 parties are transacting actually the main supply of goods or services, and one fellow is an intermediary who is facilitating or arranging the transaction. And please understand, the intermediary will never supply the main supply. Intermediary will just arrange the main activity or main supply. And intermediary is never a subcontractor. That means you got a contract to provide some goods or services and you are subcontracting it to somebody, that person cannot be called as your intermediary. And sir, when intermediary services are provided, either the supplier or the recipient is located outside India, then place of supply shall be determined as per section 13 subsection 8. That is what a simple form of this clarification. The next clarification is with respect to the custodial services provided by banks to the foreign portfolio investors. We have seen in section 13 subsection 8 that the place of supply is determined when the banks are providing services to their accounting holders. You go to place of supply section 13 subsection 8. But sir, here these custodial services are provided by banks to foreign portfolio investors who are not account holders of the banks. So these are not the services provided by banks to the account holders. So in this case, section 13 subsection 8 will not be applicable. Sir, we have to follow for determining place of supply section 13 subsection 2, the general rule. That is the another clarification. So the next one is very important clarification with respect to, see, this is with respect to place of supply of advertising services provided to foreign clients. Sir, what is happening here? See, first of all, before going to the issue, let us understand the situation, what is happening there actually. Sir, imagine there is a foreign company, let us take Netflix. They want to advertise their brand in India. So what they are doing, they are approaching an Indian ad agency and they are giving full responsibility to that ad agency. You design the ad,
You decide in which media platforms we should advertise. You decide upon the budget. You decide upon the investments. Whatever it is completely your headache. Indian ad agency should make sure the advertisement of Netflix is spreading across India like anything. So Netflix is a foreign client coming to Indian ad agency asking to take up the responsibility of advertising its brand in India. Now what Indian ad agency will do, they will create the ad, all that stuff, and they are publishing all the stuff. So let us assume there are some TV channels who are telecasting this, the media. So here we can say this Netflix is a foreign client. Foreign client. Indian ad agency, you have understood. And TV channels are nothing but media. Okay, so they are advertising it. Now please understand, Indian ad agency, what they will do, they will ask the media channels or media to advertise this ad. For that, media will raise invoice on the directly ad agency. Ad agency also will make the payment for that, no issues. Now what Indian ad agency will do, for their entire contract, for creating the content, for planning the budget, or all these things, identifying the media houses, etc., etc., for all their entire services, for that they will raise invoice to the foreign client, that is Netflix. In this case, Netflix will make directly payment to Indian ad agency. This is the story happening here. The first doubt with respect to this transaction is, sir, the issue is whether these services of advertising agency, advertising agency, ad agency, can be considered as intermediary services. The answer is straight away we can understand no, because intermediate is, sorry, the Indian ad agency, the advertising agency here is acting in its independent capacity, doing all the ad designing, content development, etc., etc., sir, investment planning, everything, and finally giving the desired result what Netflix needs. They are not acting as intermediary here. So the advertising company is not acting as an agent but providing services on its own account. So that cannot be called as intermediary. Clear? This is number one clarity. Okay. Another issue. What is the another issue? Sir, the another issue is here, for the services provided by the advertising company, who is the recipient? Is the recipient the representative of the foreign client in India, who like Netflix representative in India, with whom this ad agency is regularly coordinating, or the target audience is there, no, are there, no, in India? Are those target audience recipient of this advertising company services? Now please understand, sir, recipient, who is the recipient is the doubt. The recipient definition says clearly refers to a person who is liable to pay consideration for the supply of goods or services. Now for the ad agency services, whatever they are providing, for that, who is the person liable to make payment to the ad agency? Netflix is liable to make payment for this. That means here, sir, it is clearly visible, sir, invoice is being raised to Netflix, invoice is raised to foreign client, and they are making payment. So who is the recipient here? The foreign client is nothing but the recipient for the advertising company. So foreign client is responsible for advertising company's payment, not the customers or target audience. So even if the representative is interacting with the company regularly, he cannot be considered as a recipient because the invoice is directly issued to the foreign client. Okay, so that is what another issue. Okay, fine. So we have understood recipient is a foreign client, not the representative of that foreign client in India or targeted audience. They cannot be called as recipients. Right away, foreign client will be called as recipient. That is another clarity. Next, sir, with respect to next one, sir, whether advertising company, whatever the services they are providing, the advertising company to the foreign clients, whether it can be considered as performance based services under section 13 subsection 3, accordingly can we determine place of supply. Please understand 13 subsection 3 will come into picture when, but 13 subsection 3 will come into picture when physical presence of goods is needed or when physical presence of services is needed. Sir, here physical presence of goods is not needed, physical presence of services also not needed. Then how can you call as performance based services? How can you invoke 13 subsection 3 here? Absolutely 13 subsection 3 will not come, sir. It is straight away will go with the general rule 13 subsection 2. Place of supply will be determined accordingly. Clear? Not 13 subsection 3, right? That is another issue. Next, the fourth issue is, sir, here what if the advertising company is merely acting as an agent of the foreign client? That means, sir, here directly the contract is between Netflix and the media channels, the TV channels, the media house. Just Indian ad agency is coordinating and facilitating the transaction.
The media will directly raise invoice to the foreign client Netflix, and Netflix will directly make payment to the media. In that case, what will happen? Sir, the Indian agency is actually acting as an intermediary there, facilitating the transaction. Yes or no? So obviously place of supply will be determined as per section 13 subsection 8. Clear? So that is what the issue here. So that is what the clarification with respect to advertising services provided to foreign clients, right? So the next clarification, another important clarification, is with respect to data hosting service providers in India are providing certain services like storage space and technical infrastructure to CCSP, that is cloud computing service providers of foreign countries. So these foreign countries cloud computing service providers who are providing services to their clients. So these people will be providing to their clients regarding storing the data in clouds, all that stuff. Okay. So for these people, what Indian data hosting service providers will be providing now, sir, the storage space and technical infrastructure. See, for doing all these things, actually these people, I mean the CCSPs, sir, what they will do, sir, for providing their cloud computing services, etc., cloud storage services, etc., to the clients, these people are purely dependent on the data centers operated in India. And the Indian data hosting service providers, what they will do, sir, they will either own or operate data centers independently. They procure the infrastructure and they procure the human resources, and they will make sure the data center is being operated properly with comprehensive services like uninterrupted power supplies will be taken care, backup generators will be provided, network connectivity will be provided, firewall services will be provided, monitoring and surveillance, all these things as a package, as a whole, they will be providing to this foreign cloud computing service providers. Okay, now the doubt is, sir, what is the place of supply? How do we determine, I mean under which section we will determine place of supply for these services, was the doubt. Then the department has clarified, see, this is not something where the services are provided with respect to a goods where physical presence is needed, services where physical presence is needed, or you cannot take it like a completely something service in relation to immovable property also. So you cannot bring all those sections. So they said you have to determine place of supply as per general rule 13 subsection 2. That is what the clarification, right? So in short, sir, data hosting service providers of India are providing services to foreign cloud computing service providers by way of providing storage space as well as technical infrastructure by in terms of human resources, etc., all that stuff, making sure the power backup is there, firewalls are provided, all that stuff. So for operating the data centers on their own, so these people are providing services to these foreign people. So in that case, what is the place of supply? Place of supply, just go with general rule. This is not something directly in relation to immovable property. So here they are doing something various other things, so it should be determined as per general rule itself 13 subsection 2. That is what the clarification. So next, the simple clarification is nothing but, see, sir, B2B services, B2B services, B2B actually supply, sorry, B2B supplies with respect to MRO services. MRO services, MRO, M means maintenance, repair, overall services provided to aircrafts or aircraft engines or components or parts. Or same way, sir, if they are provided to ships or other vessels or their engines and other components. So MRO services, maintenance, repair or overall services provided to aircraft, ships, vessels and their engines, etc., etc. What is the place of supply for that? So the place of supply for that is nothing but the location of the recipient of service will be taken as place of supply. A small simple clarification. So the next clarification is with respect to cargo handling services provided by ports to the clients. See, whenever you are taking your like wagons to the port, sir, with respect to your goods export, all that stuff. See, sir, what the port will do, what the port authorities will do, they will provide you. The port authorities will provide you various services with respect to your cargo handling, like haulage of your wagons inside the sorry haulage of your wagons inside the port area, sliding the wagons inside the port, unloading the goods from your wagons, movement of unloaded cargo to the plot and staking thereof, movement of unloaded cargo to berth, shipment, etc., etc. Like that, they will provide you various services, the port authorities, with respect to unloading your cargo from your wagons, all that. Sir, for these things, what is the place of supply? See, here there was a doubt. Sir, these services are not related to immovable property. There was a doubt, are these belonging to immovable property? Should we go with the section 12 subsection 3 or 13 subsection 4? Then the department has clarified these are not somewhere related to, these are ancillary to cargo handling and not
related to immovable property. So determine the place of supply based on 12 subsection 2 or 13 subsection 2 as the case may be. That means follow general rule itself. Simple terms, port authorities providing any auxiliary activities with respect to cargo handling, place of supply will be general rule as per the general rule 12 subsection 2 or 13 subsection 2. So in simple terms, you can say port authorities providing various support services with respect to cargo handling, place of supply shall be determined as per the general rule 13 subsection 2 or 12 subsection 2, whatever as the case may be. The next clarification with respect to designing this electronic semiconductor design and manufacturing industry. To understand this place of supply, I will just make sure you are understanding it in a proper way. So first, what Indian companies will do? The Indian companies, they will develop the software and design the integrated circuits for the electronic semiconductors. So they will develop the software and design the integrated circuits for manufacturing the electronic semiconductors. So this Indian companies will do. Now this will be done for the customer. The customer is nothing but the foreign company. Sir, so they will send the design, they will send the software, all that stuff. Now what that foreign company will do, that foreign company will build a prototype. You can see the events 1 2 3 have written here properly for your understanding. Sir, what that foreign companies will do which are located outside India, they will manufacture the electronic semiconductor a prototype based upon the design and the development given, whatever the format or whatever the formula given by the Indian companies. This foreign companies, they will develop a prototype, that means a demo piece kind of thing, will develop that and send to India to the person who has designed this for testing, see whether it is working properly or not, is it as per your design plan or not, like that. So the Indian company will test it and validate it and send the prototype back to the foreign company. Okay, this is what happening. In this case, what is the place of supply? The place of supply, you cannot say I am doing something related to goods where the physical presence is there, 13 subsection 3 I will invoke. Those things cannot be done because testing and validating that is nothing but part and parcel of the main activity. Main activity for Indian companies is to design that software, to develop that software, or to design the integrated circuits and give to the foreign company. So here the general rule 13 subsection 2 will come into picture for determining the place of supply, not 13 subsection 3 clause A. So I repeat, sir, here the Indian companies are providing services of designing and developing the integrated circuits for manufacturing electronic semiconductors. So they are designing and giving to foreign companies. Foreign companies are sending a prototype to test and validate that. We are just testing and validating. Yes, this is what I have designed, this is what I have developed. Don't worry, now you can go for production. So this testing is nothing but bringing the goods to India, and testing is nothing but part and parcel of this developing that design or software services. So here we will be providing with 13 subsection 2 itself, place of supply, the general rule, not 13 subsection 3. Okay, so that is what the clarification. So with this, we are done with place of supply chapter. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. Please do share with your friends and enjoy reading. See you all in another video. Thank you and Jai Hind.